In the fourth edition of Journeys to Treasury, BNP Paribas, PwC, SAP and the European Association of Corporate Treasurers have come once again together to explore some of the priorities that the treasurer have identified. Indeed, it is through extensive surveys that we understand what the priorities of the treasurer are, and that is how we came up with 4 main topics of this year's report.
Well, every time we try to stay close to the top-of-mind topics in Treasury. This time we took the surveys done by our partners, the European Association of Treasurers, PwC as well, which has a survey of treasurers looking at different regions. So we were able to combine European results, Asian results, and North American results. And we came across the topics top of mind. One, FX hedging in the face of volatility in the world these days. That topic still remains important. How to deal with technology. There's more and more options. And how to deal with new types of payments, which add to complexity in managing new payment methods. Of course, we talked about the human factor, which came across from speaking to many treasurers. And that's important in thinking about the new skills, the new type of people that need to be in Treasury and organizations dealing with Treasury topics. I would say that, in fact, we took the topics a bit more strategically than in previous occasions, where we were looking at very hot topics, but that they were always very focused on a specific trend, like instant payments, like real time. But now we took it a bit more on a strategic level, which starts at the CFO. And so the content of the report actually can be of interest not only to the treasurer, which is dealing with the treasury topics, but to CFOs and CEOs who need to understand how the actual rest of the business is behaving and how is that impacting the role of treasury and the challenges of treasury. So in a way, I find that the report becomes a way to get the themes of the treasurer across to their own organization in a way. Well, I think it's more and more important, but not because the banks say it, but because the treasurers as well realize that the problems they're facing don't have one single solution or one single partner who can come with an answer. And so I guess that we've all discovered that when you get together, treasurers, even if they have a similar challenge in different industries, technology providers, banking partners, and you try to reflect on what the problem is, which is the very first question, we will see that sometimes the problem needs to be framed differently. And the solutions can be maybe more obvious when you combine technology partners, banking partners, and the businesses. It increases our understanding of the problem from the different angles. Sometimes making corporates understand the problems at banking side or technology provider side, sometimes as well for banks and technology to see that from the corporate eye. And we've seen that co-creation topics are actually just increasing rapidly, and working in a co-creation approach allows us to show a use case that can be replicated in other companies, other industries, rather than building something in the old style, sell it, see if it works. Here we're actually testing it, making sure that we have positive results before we bring other parties along the adventure. So I think it's a very virtuous way to come up with solutions to all problems. I will maybe share something about what I see personally when talking about technology and solutions in front of the treasurer, is that almost all the technology solutions that we know and we present, they all have a lot of virtues. They all solve a problem, they have good technology, good experts. The key topic to be asked is what's the capacity of the Treasury to absorb such solution? What is the bandwidth, the skill sets, the readiness of the Treasurer to absorb these new solutions? So for example, one of the ideas I was sharing with one of the main technology providers that we work with is that we need to have some kind of a readiness assessment before we start into such a project. Very specific example, sometimes even data analytics at Treasury is a prerequisite. Being able to crunch the data, know how ready is my data, is a prerequisite to even consider talking about any technology solution. How far am I from being able to automate or to use a third-party technology solution? And that may be a project before you actually engage the technology aspect. So that's something I've learned. But as well, I've seen that unless you see the technology solutions that are being proposed, you will not be able to ask yourself what is ready or not inside your organization in terms of, as I said, data, but as well could be policies, governance, and more project-oriented considerations. And treasuries need to be able to ask for help. There are consulting companies or banking partners which have sub-consulting companies in their organizations which can help them to assess how ready are they to adopt new technology. So my advice is look at your readiness to adopt this new technology and seek help, that's for sure. Yeah.
Technology-focused takeaways from the latest journeys to Treasury are on, first of all, skills. Make sure you have the right set of skills and competences engaged. It's on data. Identify the data you need and where in the organization this is held. Project phasing. Break down big projects, such as cash flow forecasting, into manageable parts. Scale and objectives. Start small and make sure you know exactly what you want to achieve. And last but not least, synergies and integration. Work with the wider business, including senior management, CFO, CEO for example, and definitely with sales and procurement. We put digital solutions in the heart of our clients. With that statement, we mean that the digital transformation which all our corporate clients go through is not only a matter of digitalization and automation. There is a big human factor involved. In the future, machines will do the ordinary and humans will still do the extraordinary. The treasury function evolves in an ever-increasing pace and treasurers can't keep up with all new inventions, applications, regulations and services provided by incumbent banks and new entrants like fintech and PSPs. They turn to their trusted partner, the bank, for guidance. And indeed, we have a large network continuously scanning the market for new opportunities and selecting those partners we recommend also for our clients. The next step is to find out what are the pain points in several processes for our clients and in discussion how to solve these. The last step is then the co-creation in work groups on very specific issues and parts of the value chain. Nobody can do this alone. The new mantra is collaboration between financial institutions, fintechs, providers and corporates.